For today, we're going to be moving through 27 Sun Salutations. This is a great practice that you can move through at home even without video or direction. Just pick a number of Sun Salutations that you want to work with and go with whatever number feels good for you. It might be based on your time. I always lose track of counting when I'm moving through this, so I'm just using I've got oracle cards here, so I counted out 27. So each time I come down into my fold, I'm just going to flip one over, and then I'll know when I hit the 27. So if you're wanting to practice a specific number, that's a cool little trick. So begin nice and rooted, lengthening up through the spine, and just take a moment to connect in with the breath and the breathing. And close down through the eyes, or just find a nice soft gaze. Just allow the shoulders to relax, the jaw to soften. We'll give ourselves that permission to arrive in our practice and arrive on our mat. And then maybe beginning to gently lengthen the breath. Focusing first on the exhale. So as we exhale, let's release the breath slowly but completely. Thinking about exhaling until there's no air left at all. And then just allow your inhales to flow naturally and organically. I'll gently shift the focus from the exhale to the inhale. As we inhale, let's really think about drawing the breath down as deep as we can in the body. If it's a helpful cue, you can place a hand over the belly just as that little bit of tactile sensation. And continue with a long, slow breath. Let's just begin to find some gentle movement in the torso. So we can start by just rocking or swaying or rolling through the torso. Just thinking about almost awakening the body from the root. And feeling that all the way up through the spine. If you're familiar with your chakras or energy centers, you can think about just kind of checking in with all those energy centers starting at our root. Maybe starting to add in a little movement in the neck as well. Connected with the movement at the torso, or we can find stillness through the lower part of the spine and just find movement in the neck. And then starting to find gentle movement in the shoulders. Just rolling, shifting, swaying. From here, we're going to start to transition into a kneeling position. So we can either just pull ourselves forward, or you can always kind of roll over to one hip and then come through 4-point kneeling. And as we arrive here, let's start to wave through our spine, finding our cat-cow. So we can stay moving front and back with our movements here, or we could add in a little bit of rotation, side flexion, just allowing some creativity, some freedom in the movement. Just really thinking about warming up the spine, checking in with yourself, observing and noticing what's happening in the body here today. We'll start to walk those knees a little wider than hips, toes come in together. Let's sink our hips back to heels and then begin to melt ourselves down onto our mat. Forehead can come right to the mat space, a prop or stacked palms. So our child's pose. So at any time during our sun salutation sequences and practice, if you find you just want a little pause or need to reconnect with the breath, child's pose can be a great posture to rest in, and then you can just join back in the sequence anytime you feel ready. Inhaling, we'll start to pull ourselves back forward through our 4-point kneeling. And tucking our toes, let's begin to shift those hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. So just taking a few breaths here in the first down dog of our practice. Maybe pedaling out through those heels. Maybe shifting the hips a little. And starting to bring the big toes in towards one another. Let's soften in the knees, taking the gaze forward. And begin to gently tiptoe up towards the top edge of the mat. Finding our forward fold. So allow a nice generous bend in the knees here. Chin comes to chest, forehead can hang heavy. Maybe even reach for opposite elbows. You can find your ragdoll variation if that feels good. On our next inhale, let's slowly begin to rise, thinking about stacking one vertebra at a time. And we're going to arrive in our mountain shape here. Nice and rooted through the soles of the feet. Spine is long, crown of head lifted. Shoulders down and back and the heart space open. Feeling rooted but lifted. Our mountain can also be a great posture to find a pause or rest in if you just are once again needing to find a little bit of stillness or reconnect with the breath as we move through the sequence. So just a reminder to always listen to your body, what it needs today. So if we're not there already, let's come right up to the top edge of our mat. As we inhale, we're going to sweep those fingertips, reaching, lifting, lengthening. Exhale, begin to soften in the knees. Finding our fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Rooting through the palms, you can just step back one foot then the other. So I'm going to move through a really nice grounded variation for the first few, but if you're ready for kind of full extension, then you can be there as well. So from knees or toes, elbows hugging in, lowering nice and controlled, all the way to the mat space. As we inhale, we're going to open, cobra or up dog. And pressing those hips up and back. 4-point kneeling or down dog. Take a breath here. Really think about hugging those upper arms in towards the head or the ears. It'll help with alignment of the shoulders. And then stepping the toes together, soft through the knees, gazes forward, tiptoeing, stepping, or floating up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift on the inhale, and fold on the exhale. Inhale, we'll rise. And exhale, we'll fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Rooting through the palms, stepping it back. Finding your plank variation. Lowering nice and controlled. Open through the heart space. Release on that exhale. Pressing those hips up and back. 4-point kneeling or down dog. Stepping those big toes together, softening through the knees, tiptoeing, stepping or hopping up to your fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Half lift. And release. Plank pose. Lower on the exhale. Open the heart space on the inhale. Release on the exhale. Hips up and back. Let's find our folds. If you're practicing a step up through lunge, then just try to be mindful of alternating sides. Halfway lift, fold, inhale, rise. Exhale, folding. Half lift. And fold. Plank. Chaturanga. Heart opener. Down dog or 4-point kneeling. And forward fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Rising on the inhale. Folding on the exhale. Halfway lift. And release. Finding plank. Lower chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog or 4-point kneeling. If the wrists are getting tender at all, feel free to sit back into a child's pose or even just sit back onto those heels. Roll out through those wrists. Find our fold. Halfway lift. And release. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Half lift. And fold. Stepping or maybe hopping back plank. Lower chaturanga. Heart opener. Hips up and back. So playing around with your hop is something you want to explore, but it seems like a long way away. You can start even just with little mini bunny hops up to that fold. Just getting used to that sensation. Half lift on the inhale, fold on the exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Halfway lift. And fold. Finding plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Nice and connected with the breath. Finding our fold. Half lift. And fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Halfway lift. And fold. Plank. Chaturanga. Down dog. Fold. Half lift. Fold. Inhale, rise. Reminder, if you're needing just a little pause, to allow yourself that opportunity. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plank. Chaturanga. Heart opener. Down dog. Another variation, getting up to our fold, might be moving through a three-legged dog. Stepping forward through high lunge. Forward fold. Lift. And fold. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale. Halfway lift. And fold. Plank. Chaturanga. Open the heart space. Down dog. So probably starting to feel some heat being generated in the body. So allow that energy to flow. You can always reach for a sigh breath if we feel that excess of energy we really want to let go of. Halfway lift on those inhales. Fold on the exhale. And back into our fold. Doing great. We're almost halfway through. Just a reminder to always take a little pause or a break if that's what your body is calling for. If it feels safe, you can even close down through the eyes as you move through your practice. Really just feeling the sensation in the body. Flowing and moving at a pace that feels good and supportive for you. And allow yourself to smile. Have a little fun with it. For years, I found myself being really serious in my practice, which I mean has its place for sure. But sometimes it can be just about letting go a little bit, being present and enjoying the process. Allow yourself to smile, to have fun. Just continue flowing, moving at your pace. The body's starting to feel tired or fatigued in any way, especially if it's been a while since you've done a practice like this, then just slow it down. Take a break. Or just choose different variations of the shapes. Staying nice and connected with the breath. Staying with the breath. Choosing movement that feels supportive. Again, that reminder, if the wrists are feeling a little sensitive, take a little break, shake them out, roll them out. Find any little movements or even just taking a little pause off the wrists. Feel good. Join back in when you feel ready. Allowing yourself to really sink into your flow, your rhythm, your pace. Matching your movement with your breath. And again, feel free to change it up or add variety. You can choose different intensities each time you move through. Allow some creativity if you'd like, playing with different variations or adding in any other movements, postures that feel good for you. Staying with it, just a few left. Looks like we have just about 5 left here. So it can be an opportunity to kind of turn it up a little bit again for that last little burst of heat. Or alternatively, maybe you're just ready to slow it down a little bit. Maybe we had a few more than 5. The cards are stacked. We keep going. Keep flowing. Counting's your thing. Now we have 5 left. Use that breath. Feeling that fluidity in the body. So our last 2. So I'm just going to pause and mountain for a few breaths. We're all going to move through our last 2 together. Let's allow these last 2 to be really intentional. Reaching on the inhale. Hold on the exhale. Flat back on that inhale. Hold. Finding our plank. Chaturanga. Heart opener. Down dog or 4-point kneeling. Forward fold. Half lift. And release. Inhale, rise. Last one. Exhale, fold. Half lift. And release. Finding plank. Chaturanga. Heart opener. Down dog. Find your folds. Halfway lift. And release. Inhale, rise. And then connect those palms. Let's draw that energy down through the center of the heart. Arrive in our mountain shape. Rooted and lifted. Strong. Just take a few breaths here to witness and observe what's happening for you right now. What's happening for your body. Maybe you can feel that heat. Maybe you can feel the energy flowing and coursing through you and around you. So a quick check-in with the mind or the mental body. Sun salutations and repeated sequences could be a really great way to clear our heads if we're stuck in certain thought patterns. Just letting go of the thought and allowing ourselves to be in the movement. And also notice any emotions for you. A lot of times when we're working through these sequences, these really heated practices, you might start to feel some of the heated emotions coming up as well. So if you're feeling that way, just embrace it. Know that's part of the process. Probably emotions that need to be released, and this is why they're surfacing. So give yourself that permission. And just begin to slow it down and bring ourselves back to our mats. Inhaling, we can reach. And just grabbing onto the left wrist with the right hand. Let's open up gently through the left side body, a little side stretch. And back through center. Left hand holding right wrist. Open through that right side body. And back through center. Reaching those fingertips, soften through the knees, hinge at the hips. Let's fold forward. And allow ourselves a few breaths here in our forward fold. You may want to heel toe the feet out a little wider. That feels supportive. And find stillness or gentle movement. Maybe a little rocking or swaying. Maybe reaching for opposite elbows, finding ragdoll. Starting to slow the breath down, maybe starting to feel the heart rate settle a little bit. From here, beginning to soften in the knees, hands find the mat space. We can step back. One knee, then the other. Just taking those knees nice and wide, sink it back. Find your child's pose. Wanting to find a little deeper opening through the underarms and the shoulders, or if you're really feeling it kind of in your lats area. You can just turn the palms towards one another, even start to turn the palms slightly up towards the ceiling. Press into the pinky edge of the fingers as we sit those hips back a little further. We can feel that gentle traction here, that nice stretch. Let's start to pull ourselves back forward through kneeling position. This time, keep our hips nice and high and start to walk the hands out away from us, melting down either to elbows and forearms or right down to chest and chin, finding our puppy dog shape, melting heart. Let's press into the palm as we walk those hands back in towards us. We can roll to one hip as we come through seated. As we root in, feeling nice and grounded, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Relax through the shoulders, soften through the jaw. Just take a moment to notice and observe feeling. The body is needing or craving a longer cool down. You can always find one of the shorter in practices, the on-demand. Take a moment to thank yourself for practicing, connecting movement with your breath, for taking time for you. Thanks for joining me.